production requirements, he,
Sorry, sir.
suppose he has 50 cutters in this stock.
Okay.
And on the regular basis, he is using maybe 40% of those cutters for the production. Okay. So those cutters, if we don't use in the rotation, then certain diameters will go down and certain cutters will remain fresh. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
So what provision you have in your software to take care of this issue?
Actually, what we have done, we have made it is up to the user to make the set of the tools. Like usually practice is 30 number of sets will go in a like in every sitting line. They have in a store 500 number of knives. They issue 50 number of knife and they make set of 25 numbers. Why they make 25 number is 25 numbers they use in running in a particular setups in which most of 70, 80, 90% of 25 numbers of knives will get used. If they will make 50 number set of 50 numbers, then for 25 remaining 25 diameter will that imbalance will be there what you are asking. So in the software we have a provision to make the sets of knife. Like when we define the knife, we define it by some name. So 400A setup, 400-1, 400, like that, some names we can define. 400 multiple setups, 400 current diameter would be 400. So one set is having 30 number of quantity, second set is having 20 number quantity, third set is having 50 number quantity. So we will be using the setups, set A, B, C as per the requirement. Okay. If only 12 knives are required to be used, try to use a setup which is having lesser number of knives. So like that, operator, supervisor or the programmer who is using the software, he has to put that into the usage. But making sets is provided in the software. But selective wear compensation, that part is not there. We cannot do. We cannot make a subset of a knife. We need to judiciously decide how many number of knives we want to use. So that knife set will live its life, because we need to also need to calculate the that set total tonnage as well. How much tonnage that particular set has given. So that only we will be able to do when we will make smaller sets, a practical set.
Okay. Also, out of the stock, suppose 50% of cutters are sent for grinding and not 100%. So how do you take care of that?
No, we need to send 100% only. That complete set will go to grinding. Otherwise, it will show like that we have made a very big set. So set we have to made small, like 30 number, 25 number, like that. Whatever the set will go in a running, so that number of setups, that number should be there in set.
But in this process, then some cutter forcefully we need to send for regrinding, because we cannot then subdivide the sets.
In this, what will happen if the set is selected non-judiciously? Then what will happen if some knives are got blunt and others like 70% are got blunt and 30% are still fresh. So since the complete set will go, so we need to their life we will not be able to use properly. In that that thing will be there. But that selective way we will not be able to do, because otherwise what we can do is we can if we don't do regrinding by using software, then there is no problem. We can make a set of 500 pieces. Do as per the customer can do as per what he want to do. Then in software the knife diameter will always remain 400.
Okay.
So you will not be able to see after grinding how much tonnage you have used.
Regarding the setup recipe, okay, because every setup you give some number, okay, so those numbers would be unique and you would be recording and storing those data.
Yes.
And the customer want to recall for reproduction of the same setup. That is also possible.
That is also possible.
Okay.
That
And
is also.
suppose he has done some setup, okay, and some alteration has to be done. Maybe instead of 10 cuts, maybe 9 cuts, and width only has to be increased. So those manipulations are possible, or he need
Possible,
to.
possible, or all are possible. We can take a reference. We can take a reference of old setup, and we can do manipulation like that. Just for example, I'll show you previous setup history. If I go and if I select this DT, okay, so I show these are some saved setups are there. Then there is a button recreate. So if I'll press recreate, it will generate recreation. And just for the example, I don't want to use 4 mm here. I want to use 3 mm. Or if I want to change this 500 to 600, so those things I can do. All the things I don't need to input. I can take this and all the configuration, other things, it will take it from the previous, and I can produce the setup. This is very easy.
Okay. Then suppose for a particular width, okay, I am using different slit widths, okay. So it's arrangement from the drive side to operator side, okay. Your software is optimizing that, or operator needs to set up that width.
The centering he is doing, the software is doing. This I have shown earlier also, like I don't know, maybe you are there or not, but
ऑप्शन आहे
yes.
म्हणजे तो उलटा सुद्धा करू शकतो टरेट वरती ठेवायचं असेल तर
No, not like that. See, I am just repeating my question.
Okay.
Suppose you have 1000 millimeter width.
Okay.
The incoming, and then I need maybe 50 millimeter few numbers, say 6 numbers cutters, slit strands, and 100 millimeter say 4 strands, and 300 millimeter say 1 or 2 strands. Now, how these strands will be arranged across the width? This optimization, your software will take care, or operator has to say?
Operator has to do the like in this there are 2 buttons are there. Like for example, if I broadly see like 100, 200, 300. If I press this button, my narrower slits goes to end, and wider slits goes to center. If I press this, my wider slits goes to end, the narrow slits goes to center. So this is 2 buttons are there, which usually this is the most desirable situation in which the center do not have much cutters. But otherwise, if normal up and down he has to do, so he can use these arrows. He can do that sequencing. But software, other than that, software will not do.
Okay. Suppose operator makes some wrong data entry, okay, which is beyond capability of the machines. So, do you have such limitation reference? Like say, we have designed a machine which can allow only 10 cuts, and operator want to make a setup for 12 cuts, okay, which is overloading the machine. So, do you take this into consideration?
This can be limited by using setting. How many number of slits he can take, a maximum that can be interlocked.
So this facility is already there in your software. Here, one question, not related to software, but related to the cutter and spacer identifications, where you have various cutters with inbuilt shims or 1 decimal level or 2 decimal level. So how these are physically or easily identified by the operator during setup or picking up from the tool rack?
There are two things which we are doing. We have done. One is very common thing is we are doing laser marking on the spacers, so they can read the size from that. Usually the tools are stored in different sizes, stored in different racks. So even if the tools are shuffled, there is a physical marking on the each job, usually on one side. That can be done on both sides as well. So this is how the that identification by direct reading of that dimension we can do. Secondly, sometime we have also given these tools to the countries where people do not have that literacy of reading of that number or sometimes, and to differentiate these different sizes, we these smaller thickness pieces usually cut by laser cut. So we define unique notch on the external diameter of the OD of the spacers. So by using that notch, they can identify, okay, one notch means 1.1, 2 notch means 1.2, 3 notch means 1.3. So like that, some notches, a big notch is given. Some algorithm we can use. So those notches we can provide on the external diameter of the thin spacers to identify their fraction size. In one more case, what we have done was the customer has required these fraction spacers from 10 mm, like 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, like those. And what he has demanded was provide a groove on the external diameter of the roll and color it. So that means blue color is 1.1, so 10.1, red color is 10.2, orange color is 10.3. So like that also we have done. So maybe we will be having this notch type drawing also we will be having, we can share. And these photographs of these colored external diameter which are colored. So that identification we can do. Other than one customer, we have done QR code marking as well. So there the tool was picked up by robo. So that also we have done.
One more question. Suppose customer wants to buy this software, but he has he already has tooling from different source. So can his tooling be integrated into your software? And
absolutely. They can let us know the inventory, what is the current inventory level, and some details. We have a standard format for it. So that format they can fill. They can give some machine information in that format and some existing tooling information. So all those things we can incorporate into software, and they can run the software. No problem.
Okay, that means all the existing tooling along with its exact tolerances information you would need to update the unit.
Yes.
But have you supplied such things to customer where only they?
Yeah, there is one customer, Allied Steel Rod in South Africa. They have purchased a complete tooling with us with software, and they have 3 more other slitter. There we have done. We have also recently supplied to JSSL Odisha. So Odisha Jajpur. So there they have a line from IDH. They have purchased one line, if I am remembering correctly, IDH line, and they were having certain Chinese lines also. So they have total, I think, 5 lines when I done commissioning there. So they were having 5 lines. So in one line we have done the tooling. We have given them the tooling. The other 4 lines also they have requested us to do. So that is very easy. It is not a very big issue. It is very easy thing.
any customer has requested for variable cutter horizontal clearances in center and edges? You
No,
can-
never. I think software is also not able to do this. Variable horizontal clearance, no.
Mhm. Okay. Especially maybe for a very thick material, because the shape may be sometimes wedge type or center it will be much thicker and crown at the edges. That may may not be for 2 mm, 3 mm or 4 mm, but these days we are also offering the slitting lines up to 12 millimeter and 16 millimeter, where the shape defect is more prominent. So have you have you come across such difficulty for thicker material?
No, fortunately, I have not done that type of installation in any sort of company. If that would have came also, as far as software is concerned, the software is not capable for doing that. But since it is our software, we can deploy this functionality if it is worth incorporating. But for each slit we need to deploy, then we need to let the software know for each slit what would be the horizontal clearance. That if you want to alter, then physical editing function we need to provide into software. That can be done. But right now that functionality I have not came across, and also this particular functionality also is not there in any competitor software as well.
Mhm. To what thickness you have given a software when customer is using your tooling? To what thickness?
0.2 Kyprorex there in Poland, where I've gone there and done the installation. Kyprorex 0.2 was the minimum thickness they were doing.
Maximum?
That line was used in that particular line, maximum usage was only up to 2.5. That was exclusively for thin gauges. Maximum in JSL Jajpur, they are using up to 8 mm, 8 mm or 10 mm.
Last question. JSW MI, you have been supplying the toolings to their, I think, Delhi plant, Faridabad plant and Pune plant. Have you supplied the software to them also?
No.
Anytime have you demonstrated the functionality of
JSW MI, I don't think we have done the demonstration. At Faridabad, when we were there, TSPDL, we have done the installation. So not installation, demonstration. There were couple of other companies were also there. I'm not able to recall. Plenty of Quality Foil was there. Some more companies in North. Actually, in India, people like JSL Jajpur, we have done the installation at their North plant. Also, we have done the demonstration. But they have bought that in Jajpur unit, but they are not wanting to use it there because sometimes it is also a culture how the lines are running. And in North, typically, I don't see people are not bothered about external diameter of the rubberized spacers. They don't do proper grinding. We have supplied the software in North in only one company, that is IDH. That is POSCO from that slitting line was from IDH, and unit is POSCO, IDPC, that is the name of the company in Bawal. And one more unit is there in Chennai, ICPC of POSCO. So there also the software is there.
Good. Actually, when I see the presentation, the copy you have sent to Manish, I was a bit impressed. And now when you are demonstrated the real functions through today's presentations, it clearly indicates you have taken a lot of pain to develop these softwares, which would be more customized than the softwares I have seen from European suppliers. So I really appreciate your effort. And one more thing which I have noticed that you have used, the Hindi version also,
Hmm.
which would facilitate the Indian operators to, use this software more easily. So that is also a nice idea. So overall, yeah. So overall, I think it's nicely developed software. I'm quite impressed.
Thank you very much, sir. Your words are too pleasing for me. And I was telling Mehra ji and Dubey साहब कि sir ये software को demonstrate sir को करना ही है, क्योंकि you are the person who has given us a motive to develop this software. Really, I am saying it is not like from just from fluke we have done, because plenty of points you have given me in the software which I have incorporated. I'm not carrying that file, that diary with me. I would have shown you that is 7 years old diary. I'm still keeping with me, in which you have given me 25 number of points that things that will that can be incorporated into software. So I am thankful to you because unknowingly you give inspiration to plenty of people, sir. You are an institution in your own. We have also came across one at in Jindal, not in Jindal, Tata Jamshedpur. There was one customer meet was there. So there you have done some, you have given some presentation there. Balian Saab was there. He has done some arrangement there. So there I have seen your presentation. First on rolling mill was there. And second presentation was mine. But you have went because of to catch the flight. So you have not attended that particular presentation. So at that time also I missed to show you the software.
Yeah.
Now you come to Bombay. We'll go and I'm also thankful to you. At least you are able to find out all the answers what Mr. Vijay had raised 7 years ago. So whatever questions or any problems he has raised today, maybe you will be able to find out the answer, but not 7 years, but at least 1 year.
Certainly, sir, certainly.
Yeah. But you plan to come, and today there are inquiry about one program, one customer. They may had another customer, but if you have one to face interaction, that will be more advantageous to both the companies.
Certainly, sir.
And more than us, it is the customer who will be using the software for the current project where Manish has raised the inquiry. Okay, and I think very quickly we need to finalize. So before we take decision, I have one doubt.
He has submitted a quotation based on his program and everything.
Yes.
And whatever customer is asking, they have a very precise
They have
requirement
given
of
their
the
own
items,
number of
the quantity and other things. So once they have that quantity,
Yeah.
how that will fit in
His
his program software.
inventory, he'll do the inventory updation. See, the typical problem here, see, in most of the customer, we commit that we'll give one set of tooling based on our, detail engineering. So it is not very binding us to give n number of, the spacer for a with respect to the thickness, etc. Because ultimately he should able to do one setup, what he needs, or maybe two setups. This particular project, the customer requested or asked us to include certain setup, okay, certain quantity of
Based on thickness and
cutter thicknesses for the spacers, etc., etc. So we have to offer a solution considering those inventories. So this would be the limitation, but I don't think it would be a problem.
But again,
When I seen your quantities, I was really surprised why so many numbers of rubber rings were there. And plenty of diameters of rubber rings were there, so it was little awkward for me to see.
Yeah, I understand that, but what we can do, that suppose if this rubber spacer would have a life limitations, then we can defer those deliveries if they don't need immediately and cannot be consumed, say, within a year or 2 or 3, and just, kept idle, and then it will degenerate by itself. If this would be the our observation, we can recommend customer accordingly.
What I personally feel, sir, this quantity might have come from other perspective, like they already have some splitting line working in that plant, and they must not be having sufficient spare toolings with them. This project being a capex item which could have been sanctioned, they must have added the spares required there in this, so that they can work for both the lines and no need to order for spare for that line.
Okay, so that can be then correctly optimized in our program. That
Yeah.
though we supply 1,000 numbers total quantity, but for this project only 600 would be used.
But any suggestions for changing the quantity of tooling, spacer, cutter, rubber spacer, or mutually we can decide that this should be the correct tooling.
I think with this customer, it is not possible. Whatever we have things are written in contract, we have to supply. Now, how much quantity to integrate in software is this can be
This can be discussed
based on the
during
doubts what
and
Kishore
site.
has. Yeah. So these things can be clarified, but total quantity we need to
No, if you see the quantity, like it is more than 7 or 8 settings can be done with those quantities. 7 to 8 arbors parallelly they can be set. So that is not actually the requirement. So obviously when we will be commissioning at the site after supply, we will take into consideration after discussion with them what exactly is the requirement and how it can be done. But the quantities definitely whatever are mentioned by Manish, those have to be supplied.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this issue we will take care of.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Anything else we can support you, sir?
Definitely on pricing for Manish.
For that, Mehra Saab is there. He is the wholesale person.
No, we work as a team. So any day other than 15 and 16, I can come down because there is my daughter is getting engaged on 16th of April. So I'm a little bit busy for 2 days. Next week, any day, if you call me, I'll come.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, congratulations to you.
Congratulations,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Getting old, sir.
No. I get videos from you, with more energy to sing various songs. You're doing a lot of Durga Puja and sharing those beautiful pictures and events. So it's very nice. You're keeping yourself busy and also keeping you fit. Good.
I think voice is breaking.
Pardon? Yeah. Okay. I think next week should be okay, for us to discuss on this project. We'll check the suitable date and timing.
शाहिद जी, what I suggest, एक बार फिर से रिव्यू कर लें इनकी जो क्वांटिटी है, इनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट है. You guide me. I'll go to Esmech next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whichever day after talking to Mr. Manish. And फिर हम उसको देखते हैं कि क्या बेस्ट कर सकते हैं.
Okay, sir.
मतलब
ठीक
आपकी
है,
तरफ से
ये
ये
approach-
सजेशन हो कि ये लेना जरूरी है, तो then we can convince them.
Okay, sir. Okay. Right, sir.
Anything else, Vijay sir, Manish ji?
No, I think more than enough information we got on the software.
And we are sorry for the delay. वो हमारे यहाँ कुछ ट्रेनिंग सेशन वगैरह शुरू थे, इसलिए पिछले 10-15 दिन से हम कोऑर्डिनेट नहीं कर पाए. प्लस 31 मार्च का बर्डन था, तो उसमें सेल थी. एंड दिस ईयर एज ए डीटी इंडस्ट्रीज we did highest conversion, highest turnover, highest order booking. So this is the achievement what we had in 2022.
Okay.
Thank you, Pitne sir.
मेरा जी और एक पॉइंट था जो कीवे का जो था हमारा पॉइंट, उसके ऊपर कुछ आपका कमेंट आना था। हार्बर विद कीवे, टूलिंग्स विद की,
कीवे का क्या पॉइंट है सर?
ये हम लोगों ने उसमें स्पेसिफाई किया था कि उसमें हमको ये की चाहिए।
हा कीवे डिटेल आपण नाही विचारले होते, तर त्यांनी 40/22 सांगितले होते. दॅट इज ओके और नॉट आपल्याला विचारायचं. साइज. हेलो हेलो.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
मेरे साहब हमने ये पूछा था कि कीवे का डायमेंशन कितना रखना है, तो आपने और तभी बोला था, आपके राजेश जी ने बोला था कि 40/22 का है, ऐसा उन्होंने बोला था. तो वो मतलब तो वही रखे या उसमें कुछ कमेंट है आपका ऐसे?
सर नॉर्मली क्या होता है कि आर्बर वगैरह आप बनाते हैं तो कीवे के डायमेंशन आप ही लोग डिसाइड करते हो, तो वो आप लोग ज्यादा उसमें क्या नाम एक्सपर्ट हो, लेकिन अगर आप बोलो तो हम सिमिलर साइजेस के दूसरे कुछ कस्टमर्स के वो कीवे के साइज हम नोटिस करके या कंपेयर करके आपको बता सकते हैं कि सर दीज आर अदर कीवे साइजेस मेड फॉर अदर कस्टमर्स.
हम लोग को यही चाहिए था, यही चाहिए था.
अगर क्लोज टॉलरेंसेस चाहिए तो देन वी कैन डू सम मीडियम वायर कटिंग वगैरह, जो हम कभी कभी आपको सेटअप कटर और सेटअप स्पेसर्स के लिए करके देते हैं.
ठीक है सर, आप ये जरा रेफरेंस में जो आपके पास
हाँ, वो बोलिए ना
साइज का, वो हमको रेकमेंड कर सकते हैं आप?
अभी हम लोगों ने जो सर कीवे साइज बताया था आपको, एज पर स्टैंडर्ड बताया था. जो हार्बर का साइज सिलेक्ट करा है उसके लिए एज पर जो डिजाइन डेटा बुक्स के अंदर जो साइज रहता है वो ही सिलेक्ट करके हमने तो बताया था. तो अगर हमको कुछ कंपेयर करना है तो फिर हम लोग कुछ कंपेयर करके बताते हैं फिर आपको.
आप प्लीज वो कंपेयर करके बताइए सर.
ओके सर. ओके.
ठीक है सर, ठीक है, ओके.
मेरा जी चल मैं निकलता हूँ. थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू सर.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सर.
सर थैंक यू.
तो सी यू नेक्स्ट वीक. मैं आता हूँ फिर.
ओके
ओके सर. बाय.
थैंक यू सर.
बाय. थैंक यू शाहिद एंड थैंक यू ऑल द DT टीम.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for everybody's
थैंक यू
time.
मनीष जी.
गुड डे.
गुड डे.
गुड डे.
आपल्याला क्वांटिटी तीच घ्यायची आहे तर नक्की.
धन्यवाद.